Welcome to the Cosmic Chosen Channel. The walls around you aren't just physical. They're programmed. While most people are stuck running in circles, trapped in a loop disguised as normal life, you've started to feel the glitch, that pressure, that sense of something being off. It's not anxiety, it's awakening. And the reason you've been feeling sick, stuck, or constantly under invisible attack isn't bad luck. It's energetic warfare. Objects in your home, gifts, antiques, mirrors, even books, may be holding spiritual residue meant to keep you anchored to this low-frequency realm. You weren't meant to just survive here, you were designed to transcend this matrix. But you can't take flight when your sanctuary is full of hidden snares. Energy doesn't lie, and your home is a mirror of your field. That's why now, more than ever, you must purge what's silently draining your frequency. Because you, Chosen One, are the only one encoded with the map to the exit. You're not here to decorate the prison. You're here to break the simulation. They don't want you to know this, but the dimension is thinning. Portals are real. And the reason you're being watched, studied, and spiritually tested is because you're the only one who can walk through the door no one else sees. Get ready. What you remove in the physical is going to unlock something cosmic. The escape begins at home, and it begins now. The first is the energy of the dead, whether it be from inherited or used objects. The majority of people are unaware that items may retain the energy of their past owners, particularly when those individuals are deceased. Whether it's furniture, jewelry, clothes, or even decorations for your home, bringing belongings from a deceased person into your home may unintentionally bring their unresolved problems, sicknesses, and responsibilities into your life. When someone passes away, their energy doesn't simply vanish. Their emotions, experiences, and even spiritual weight were absorbed by everything they touched and lived with. If that individual had a life full of illness, financial difficulties, or other hardships, those difficulties don't just go away when they depart. The things they left behind still have the frequency of their sorrow. This explains why some people experience a decline in their luck after purchasing used goods from estate sales or inheriting belongings from departed family members. They don't aware they're carrying home someone else's past and pain, but they believe they're just getting a good bargain. Perhaps the former owner struggled with sadness all the time. They could have been in danger of going bankrupt. Perhaps they passed away from a horrible disease that sapped their vitality. The remaining energy of their struggles is now present in the items they possessed, such as the jewelry they treasured, the clothing they wore, and the furniture they sat on. Certain items contain so much of a person's history that they serve as spiritual anchors, keeping your house stuck in a downward spiral of bad luck. You may see odd trends, such as unexpected financial loss, mysterious sicknesses, or a pervasive sense of weight in the air. It's not arbitrary. It's not your imagination. It's possible that the items in your house are subtly harming you. You need to use extra caution if you have inherited or bought anything from a deceased person. Some things must be made public. You can be carrying a burden that isn't even yours if you cling to them. Mirrors are more than just surfaces that reflect light. They hold memories, absorb energy, and frequently act as invisible portals between the material and spiritual realms. You may be unknowingly inviting psychic interference into your house if you have mirrors that were acquired from unidentified sources, such as gifts, second-hand purchases, or even accidental finds. Certain mirrors retain the sentimental imprint of their former owners. If someone battled sadness, illness, or adversity for years while standing in front of that mirror, their energy didn't simply go away. It persisted. Mirrors catch energy, both positive and negative, in addition to reflecting pictures. This explains why some individuals feel uneasy in their own homes or get weird feelings when they stare into specific mirrors, as if someone is watching them. Mirrors have traditionally been connected to spiritual openings that go beyond energy. According to several religions, they are gateways that allow invisible entities to enter. A mirror may be harboring anything sinister if it has been used in rituals, has been subjected to severe emotional trauma, or has just lived in a negative household. Those who own these mirrors frequently complain of ongoing misfortune, financial difficulties, or mysterious disruptions in their homes. Dreams become disturbing, the air feels thick, and life seems to be moving excruciatingly slowly. Mirrors facing your bed are another risky feature. Sleeping in front of a mirror weakens your soul and increases your susceptibility to fatigue, bewilderment, and even nightmares, according to many spiritual beliefs. It's possible that your mirror is subtly affecting your energy if you wake up feeling exhausted, agitated, or mentally disoriented. While not all mirrors are problematic, you should get rid of your mirror right away if it gives you anxiety or if your life started to go south after you brought it into your house. A mirror with the incorrect energy may take your tranquility, your progress, and your well-being. Some items have more energy than just their physical shape. Second, unidentified mirrors that serve as entrances to spiritual incursion. A mirror is much more than simply a surface that reflects light. It is an energetic doorway that may either serve as a spiritual entryway for incursion and disruption or increase light, clarity, and positive energy. Any energy that a mirror has received from its history is likewise brought into your home when you bring it in. You have no clue what type of spiritual imprint the mirror has if it originates from an unidentified place, be it a gift, a find, or a used purchase. Many civilizations and spiritual traditions have long acknowledged that mirrors are energy-storing objects. They capture feelings, memories, and even spiritual energies in addition to reflecting the material world. These energies could still be present in a mirror if it had belonged to someone who experienced severe sadness, financial disaster, or illness. You unconsciously link yourself with the energy it contains each time you stand in front of it. Your attitude, health, and luck may be subtly impacted by your mirrors if you've been feeling exhausted, nervous, or burdened in your own house. The notion that mirrors may act as gateways is much more unnerving. Some serve as portals for invisible beings, in addition to being energy absorbers. Numerous accounts exist of people having weird experiences with mirrors, such as inexplicable shadows, a sense of being watched, or disruptions in their house after obtaining a certain mirror. Sometimes, these mirrors function as spiritual portals via which evil spirits may watch, affect, or drain the household's energy. Take note of your feelings if you have mirrors in your house that were not placed there. Are you uncomfortable with them? Have you had odd feelings, nightmares, or terrible luck? If so, you should take them off right away. It is not worth the risk, even if a mirror appears innocuous, if it contains an energy that you cannot identify or purify. Anything that throws off the equilibrium of your house should be removed. Your home should be a sanctuary of safety, clarity, and divine harmony. Third, presents from adversaries or malicious individuals. Not every gift is a boon. Some are spiritual traps that pretend to be nice, but have ulterior motives that can subtly ruin your life. Whether you are aware of it or not, when someone gives you a gift, they are putting their energy into your space. No matter how carefully they try to hide it, the present they offer you absorbs the energy of their jealousy, wrath, or malice. You may consider it only an item, but you are unaware of how it begins to operate against you. Numerous people have gone through this without even understanding why. Someone gives them a piece of jewelry, clothes, furniture, or simply a decorative object. And then their life takes a sudden turn for the worst. Unexpected financial difficulties, strained relationships, health problems, or an odd, weighty vibe in their house can all occur. Because people believe a present is only a harmless item, they fail to see the connections. However, if the giver's heart isn't pure, the spiritual weight that comes with gifts might become a burden in your life. There are presents that are purposefully presented with ulterior motives. Envious people have been known to present spiritually poisoned items that are intended to prevent success, bring bad luck, or keep the receiver stuck in negativity in a variety of cultures. The present brings a portion of the giver's energy into your house, and even though they may grin in front of you, they really don't want you to succeed. Because of this, recipients of these presents frequently experience anxiety surrounding them, feeling that something is off, but without understanding why. Pay heed if you've ever gotten something and then noticed a change in your situation or energy. Trust your gut if anything makes you feel uneasy, exhausted, or surrounded by negativity. Regardless of its apparent value, sentimentality, or beauty, if something is subtly harming you, it is not worth retaining. While some gifts are presented with affection, others are meant to hinder your progress. Understanding the distinction can make the difference between your life's rewards and struggles. Fourth, things that were there when a significant life crisis occurred. Energy permeates your surroundings, and the things in your immediate vicinity are more than simply tangible objects. They are quiet observers of your experiences. Everything around you, especially the things you contact with on a regular basis, absorbs the moment when you experience a severe life crisis. The furniture that surrounds you amid financial devastation, the clothes you wore after a painful breakup, or the bed you rested in while suffering illness. All of these things retain the emotional imprint of that period. These objects serve as anchors, subtly dragging you back into the same frequency of suffering and difficulty, even if your mind has gone on. A lot of individuals unwittingly keep themselves bound by clinging to items associated with pain, loss, or treachery. Every time they see them, a portion of their brain relives that trauma, even if they think they are only nostalgic objects. A modest piece of furniture that lay in the background during a time of misery, a jacket that brings back memories of the chilly night spent sobbing, or even a ring that was once a promise but now symbolizes disappointment. These items may appear innocuous, yet their energy endures. This explains why some individuals believe they will never be able to fully get past a difficult period in their lives. They feel that something is keeping them back, even after they have changed their perspective, worked on healing, or entered a new phase. That burden isn't only in their thoughts, it's also in the things that surround them and preserve the past. New blessings cannot truly take root in such things because the energy of heartache, betrayal, illness, or loss is still stuck there. Decluttering is only one aspect of letting go. Another is letting go of the hold that the past has on your future. It's about ending patterns, cutting connections to suffering, and creating room for new, uplifting energy. Because they belong to a past version of you, certain things don't deserve to be in your present. You'll feel lighter the instant you get rid of these items from your house. There will be a change. You are letting go of spiritual burdens in addition to physical ones. Fifth, unused clocks, stagnation, and frozen time. The function of a clock is to maintain time motion, signifying advancement, transformation, and the passage of life. However, a broken clock, one that has run out of battery, or one that is just useless, represents stagnation, delay, and lost opportunity. That vibe of stillness, of things not going ahead, starts to permeate into your life in ways you aren't even aware of because time has stopped. Unknowingly, A lot of people hang on to broken clocks as innocuous ornaments, yet they serve as spiritual anchors to delays and failures. You can feel trapped and unable to go on in your relationships, work, or financial circumstances. You work hard, yet you don't see any results. Ideas that ought to have gained traction never quite do. Doors that ought to have opened stay closed. And the worst part? It isn't connected to anything as basic as an unutilized clock that is on your shelf or wall. Clocks are more than simply useful tools. They are representations of motion, development, and transformation. When they come to a standstill, they silently communicate to your surroundings that time has stopped. The fact that broken clocks are frequently found in the houses of people who feel stuck in the same problems year after year is no accident. They are unable to escape cycles of poor health, unhappy relationships, or financial difficulty. There is no movement. Nothing changes. Everything seems to be stuck. Fixing the clocks or getting rid of them completely is a straightforward yet effective approach. A functional clock brings motion back, indicating that time is moving forward, that things are changing, and that progress is taking place. Get rid of a clock right away if it can't be fixed. Whether you realize it or not, your surroundings have an impact on you, so get rid of everything in your house that symbolizes stopped energy. Clearing sluggish energy creates space for progress, breakthroughs, and the resumption of life's positive flow. Sixth, uncomfortable dolls, sculptures, or figures. Your house is not as innocent as it first appears. It has long been recognized that dolls, sculptures, and figurines, particularly those made in human or animal form, may serve as spiritual containers that can contain both positive and negative energy. Objects with faces or other realistic characteristics are said to draw spirits and operate as a conduit between the material and spiritual worlds in many civilizations. Trust your gut if you have a doll, statue, or figure that makes you nervous, weighs down the space, or seems to have an unexplainable presence. Certain items are energy magnets that aren't necessarily the sort you want in your house. They're more than simply decorations. Some items absorb the energy of their environment, especially mass-produced figurines, antique sculptures, and handcrafted dolls. That energy doesn't just vanish if they were made in a negative, fearful, or painful atmosphere. Instead, it clings to the thing and slowly affects the place in which it lives. This explains why some people have strange disruptions after bringing such artifacts into their homes, such as ongoing misfortune, unexpected sickness, relationship stress, or a lasting uneasiness. These items' energy may gradually impact your thoughts, feelings, and even your financial situation, adding an unseen burden to your existence. Old or used objects aren't the only things that might cause problems. Even recently, manufactured dolls, sculptures, or figurines may serve as spiritual conductors if they were inadvertently contaminated with evil energy during production or handling. Before being sold or given as gifts, certain items are even purposefully utilized in religious or ceremonial activities, unwittingly putting you in the path of forces you cannot comprehend. It's not simply your imagination if there are things in your house that make you uneasy for no apparent reason. It's your spirit identifying an energy that doesn't belong. Even if you hold on to these items out of responsibility or emotion, they may be quietly changing your life in ways you are unaware of. Give them up. Instead of serving as a haven for invisible forces opposed to you, your house should be a place of tranquility. The seventh is sweeping in ill luck using old brooms and cleaning supplies. A broom is more than simply a domestic implement. It represents the flow of energy and spiritual purification. Every time you sweep, you're changing the energy of your room, in addition to getting rid of dust and grime. However, what occurs if the actual tool is worn out, tattered, and outdated? Rather than eliminating negativity, it begins to retain it, retaining the same energy you are attempting to eliminate. Many cultures have traditionally cautioned against preserving old brooms, particularly ones that were used in difficult situations, when money was tight or when someone was ill. The explanation is straightforward. A broom takes on the spirit of whatever it has removed. It has the scars of the times it was used in a family when there was strife, poverty, or adversity. You are bringing the same energy back into your house each time you use it, bringing back the exact problems you have been attempting to avoid. Simply maintaining the old broom in your house might impede development, even if you no longer use it. Memory is stored in objects, and an old broom provides a tangible reminder of hardships in the past. Because they never let go of the resources available during such times, some people unwittingly carry the energy of their worst seasons. Even if you have moved past financial difficulties, you may still be tied to that period of deprivation if you continue to use the same broom you did while you were having financial difficulties. This also holds true for dusters, outdated mops, and other cleaning equipment. They're holding you back instead of helping you if they're deteriorated, discolored, or breaking apart. New tools are needed for a new beginning. Therefore, the first step in changing the energy in your life is to get rid of everything that has outlived its usefulness. Purchase a new broom, make the decision to sweep in wealth and blessings, and see how your life and your house start to feel lighter, more plentiful, and clear. The eighth is persistent illness and stagnation caused by expired drugs. More than just worthless pills in a cupboard, expired drugs are a symbol of prolonged illness, stale energy, and a declining environment. Even if you never intend to use them, keeping them in your house establishes a psychological and spiritual bond with disease, hardship, and unsolved problems. Consider what you're clinging to if you've ever pondered why some health issues appear to drag on, why there seems to be a lack of vitality in your household, or why there seems to be a sense of weight in the air. The purpose of medicine is to provide alleviation, balance, and healing. However, as it dies, it loses its function and turns into a representation of deterioration. Antiquated medications carry the vibration of illness, which quietly reinforces the presence of disease in your environment, just like bad food in your refrigerator might foster contagion. It conveys the unspoken idea that illness is a natural part of life rather than something that has to be let go and recovered. Some people habitually store expired drugs because they believe, "What if I need this later?" However, this perspective is actually an expression of fear and lack, a conviction that illness is unavoidable, that recovery is only temporary, and that they need to save relics from the past in case they need them. This poses a bodily and spiritual risk, like bad energy that persists when you refuse to let go of things that no longer serve you. Expired drugs can become poisonous, in addition to being ineffective. Instead of serving as a repository for the lingering effects of previous diseases, your house should be a haven of healing, rebirth, and energy. Eliminating outdated medications is a spiritual cleaning process that indicates your readiness to let go of illness, stagnation, and anything that saps your vitality. Examine your cupboards, get rid of everything that has gone bad, and make the decision that going forward, only items that strengthen, nourish, and repair will be kept in your house. The energy change will happen instantly, and you can notice that your body and mind feel lighter, as well as your space. The ninth item on the list is incomplete projects, including energy blocks. More than simply abandoned chores, unfinished projects are active obstacles that are lingering in your house and subtly encouraging inaction, procrastination, and unrealized potential. Unconsciously or consciously, you are reminded of what you didn't finish every time you pass that half-written novel collecting dust, that broken chair you said you would restore, or that half-knitted scarf. These incomplete projects add an unseen burden to your surroundings, gently teaching your mind to tolerate incompleteness, procrastination, and lack of action in other spheres of your life. Whether you are aware of it or not, everything in your house is sending a message. You begin to absorb the energy of delay when you are surrounded by undertakings that have been put off for months or even years. You could see that goals go unmet, opportunities pass you by, and it becomes more difficult to stay motivated. That's no accident. Your environment is teaching your subconscious that achievement is always just out of grasp, that things never get done, and that progress never occurs. It's about the message these incomplete tasks convey to your mind and soul, not simply about clutter. They turn into representations of hesitancy, insecurity, and expending energy. You may begin to feel exhausted, overburdened, or trapped without understanding why. Even worse, the cycle repeats itself. You start something new, but the energy of unfinished business creeps in and makes it more difficult to finish. The answer is straightforward but effective. Either finish the job or take it out of your house. Ask yourself honestly, am I ever going to finish this? If the answer is no, let go of the task that has been left undone for months or years. Let go of the burden of unmet goals and make room for fresh, finished achievements. Eliminating incomplete initiatives causes your energy to go from inertia to momentum, from inaction to action, and from completion to accomplishment. Because you've created room for things to finally come full circle, you'll find yourself feeling more driven, more productive, and more receptive to chances. The 10th item is emotional and spiritual baggage from previous relationships. Whether you are aware of it or not, holding on to objects from past relationships, whether they be from a broken family bond, an ex-lover, or a former friend, means that you are still energetically and spiritually linked to that person. Even while they may appear innocuous, gifts, letters, pictures, clothes, and even tiny trinkets serve as reminders of the past and maintain spiritual and emotional bonds long after a relationship has ended. These items retain the connection's energy, even if you think you've moved on. This can affect your feelings, your perspective, and even your capacity to draw in new, more wholesome relationships. Everything in your house has a frequency, and it keeps giving out that energy if it is connected to suffering, heartache, betrayal, or loss. It's possible that you're overanalyzing the past, experiencing inexplicable grief, or finding it difficult to fully seize fresh chances in life and in love. After a difficult breakup, some people even suffer financial problems, but they are unaware that the root cause isn't only emotional anguish, but rather the relationship's enduring influence on their surroundings through items. You are maintaining a spiritual link to that individual when you preserve these things. This implies that your energy is still accessible to their effect, whether positive or negative. This energy stays with you if the connection was poisonous, deceptive, or terminated in betrayal. Because they never really broke the connection, some people find themselves drawn to the same poisonous habits repeatedly. Letting go of everything that no longer serves you is the only way to completely enter a new season of plenty, healing, and love. Remove anything from your home that reminds you of a relationship that depleted you rather than strengthened you. Burn up hurtful letters, erase old messages, and get rid of old presents. You will notice a change right away once you do this. Your mind will clear, your energy will increase, and you will make room for more success, healthier relationships, and love. To truly go freely into your future, let go of the past. 11th, deterioration and financial catastrophe due to dead or dying plants. More than just ornaments, plants are representations of growth, vitality, and plenty. A flourishing plant is a symbol of wealth, nurturing, and life. However, when a plant begins to wither and die, it conveys a strong message about the energy in your house and life, as well as about the plant itself. Maintaining dead or dying plants around your home is akin to letting deterioration, stagnation, and financial collapse take hold. Every element in your surroundings has a frequency, and plants are very sensitive energy sensors. A home that is surrounded by vibrant, healthy plants exudes wealth and good vibes. However, as plants start to wither, it's a reflection of other aspects of your life that could be having trouble, such as your motivation, relationships, economics, or health. Many people are unaware that the gradual death of plants in their homes sometimes corresponds with times of ill luck, mental exhaustion, or financial difficulties. The vitality of the room is only reflected by the plants. Neglected plants, those without sunlight, water, or attention, die. This might be seen as a metaphor for carelessness with money, lost chances, or a general disregard for plenty. Some people pass away even after receiving proper treatment, which may be a sign of blocked energy, spiritual weight, or outside influences interfering with your home's prosperity flow. In any case, the message is unmistakable. That energy has to be handled since something is not prospering. Take care of a suffering plant in your home if it can be brought back to health. Give the plant the love, care, and devotion it deserves, as well as the energy of success and development in your own life. However, take out the plant right away if it is already dead or unsalvageable. It's like clinging onto failure and expecting prosperity when you keep dead plants around. Eliminate them. Rebalance the energy in your house and welcome plenty, rejuvenation, and new life to replace them. Items with odd or unidentified symbols are number 12. Sometimes symbols have more power than we think. Symbols are not only arbitrary patterns found on apparel, jewelry, artwork, or home decor. They bear energizing impressions from the civilizations, religions, or spiritual systems from which they come. You can be unintentionally attracting negative or adverse energies into your home when you bring anything in that has a sign you don't understand. The existence of some symbols in your house may be silently affecting your relationships, money, emotions, and health, since they are associated with rituals, curses, or evil spiritual entities. A lot of individuals gather items without considering where they came from. A fashionable item of jewelry, a stunning artwork, or a rare antique may appear innocuous, but if the sign it contains was formerly employed in occult rituals, spiritual bondage, or combat, it is still carrying that frequency. Energy doesn't go away. It remains, and if it's destructive, heavy, or connected to forces you don't agree with, it may begin to upset the harmony, prosperity, and spiritual equilibrium of your household. After obtaining objects with unidentified symbols, some people experience unexplainable disruptions, such as nightmares, domestic conflict, financial difficulties, or an odd sense of gravity in the air. The energy contained in some symbols can slowly affect the surroundings, even if they don't first see the connection. The presence of a symbol in your house might cause spiritual conflict, which can result in confusion, delays, or invisible barriers, even if it isn't intrinsically harmful and comes from a belief system that is at odds with your own faith or spiritual path. Do some study on everything you possess that has a symbol you don't recognize. Get rid of it right away if its origins make you uneasy. Have faith in your instinct. Don't overlook a thing that makes you feel uneasy. Instead of serving as a battlefield for invisible forces, your house ought to be a haven of harmony, safety, and tranquility. Every item in your home either increases your blessings or depletes your energy, so choose carefully what you let in. There's no middle ground. 13th, spiritual weakness caused by water-damaged or broken sacred texts. A holy book is a hallowed container of heavenly knowledge, protection, and spiritual power. It is more than just paper and ink. The quality of your spiritual basis is reflected in the state of the books in your home, whether they be the Bible, Quran, Torah, or any other sacred literature. They represent spiritual weakness, detachment, and disregard for greater knowledge if they are ripped, water-damaged, or neglected. It is a subtle but potent indication that your spiritual defenses are being undermined, which can have detrimental effects on many facets of your life. A damaged holy book can no longer provide complete protection, much like a shattered shield. One should not allow their spiritual garment to be torn or ignored, any more than one would wear a ragged clothing during a storm. The mind is subconsciously programmed to disregard spiritual discipline and divine guidance when a sacred text is left in poor condition. This can result in poor decisions, misunderstanding, and even spiritual attacks. Those who suffer from recurring bad luck, inexplicable weight, or a feeling of spiritual apathy sometimes are unaware that even the physical state of their sacred texts may be affecting their vitality and ability to access heavenly knowledge. Spiritual sluggishness is another problem. A person's abandoned faith, unanswered prayers, and waning spiritual connection are all suggested by a holy book that is gathering dust, worn out, or forgotten on a shelf. These books are supposed to be read, revered, and used as a source of strength, not as ornaments or artifacts. The information and power they contain are also being disregarded when they are allowed to decay. The answer is straightforward but effective. Release or restore. Fix the book if you can, bind the pages, wash the cover, and put it somewhere reputable. If it cannot be repaired, appropriately dispose of it in accordance with your faith's customs, whether that means burning, burial, or other holy means. You convey a very clear spiritual message when you do this. I respect my spiritual journey, I revere divine knowledge, and I prefer to maintain a solid foundation. Your life can instantly change as a result of this little yet effective deed, bringing back protection, clarity, and divine harmony. Number 14. A messy future due to hoarded or superfluous documents. Despite its seemingly trivial appearance, paper is actually a tangible representation of your ideas, choices, and financial background. You are unwittingly fostering a culture of stagnation, mental clutter, and financial delay when you let piles of old bills, out-of-date documents, and superfluous paperwork build up in your house. These documents are more than simply physical items. They contain the energy of previous obligations, debts, and unresolved matters, and they will continue to have an impact on your life for as long as they are in existence. Every financial document, including bills and receipts, has the mark of a certain point in time. Some stand for hardships, setbacks, or tough choices. Retaining them keeps you connected to those prior situations on a mental and spiritual level. You are perpetuating the recurrence of poverty in your house if you still have old documents from a period when you were suffering, in debt, or barely making ends meet. It seems as though you are unwittingly promoting the notion that experiencing financial difficulties is a characteristic of who you are. This congestion impedes mental clarity and spiritual flow in addition to having an impact on your income. A house overrun with paper clutter fosters a state of bewilderment, tension, and overwhelm. It might be more difficult for you to concentrate, make wise choices, or even feel inspired to go toward your objectives. Your thoughts reflect your environment. So, if your workspace is overflowing with pointless papers, your head will be overflowing with unneeded anxieties and holdups. Decluttering these documents is a way to let go. It represents letting rid of past financial difficulties, errors, and stale energies. Ask yourself, does this serve me now? When you go through your piles of documents, if not, shred it, throw it away, and create room for new chances. Just the essentials should be kept, and these should be arranged to facilitate ease and clarity. You'll notice a change after the needless burden of old bills, out-of-date contracts, and pointless paperwork is lifted. You'll feel lighter, clearer, and more in control as your financial life begins to progress and new chances present themselves. Your house serves as a spiritual container for your energies, destiny, and future, in addition to being a location where you live, eat, and sleep. Every item you own has a frequency, a memory, or an imprint that may either drag you backward into struggle, loss, and stagnation, or forward into success, prosperity, and health. Nothing in your area is neutral, in actuality. Either everything is working in your favor or against you. Simply by clinging onto items that contain the energy of failure, grief, and decay, many individuals unwittingly put themselves in vicious cycles of financial difficulties, emotional discomfort, and spiritual weight. Old things from a traumatic past, items associated with illness, stagnation symbols, or spiritual pollutants concealed in plain sight can all serve as silent anchors, holding you back to energies you were intended to release. Even if you can't see the shackles, they have an impact on your motivation, relationships, finances, and general health. However, you now realize that your surroundings may either work in your favor or against you. You must act if you genuinely want a change in your life, more protection, clarity, abundance, and divine harmony. Get rid of things that don't help you anymore. Release the things that bind you to the past, deplete your vitality, and bring deprivation and bad luck. Clear your destiny as well as your home. The energy around you will change as soon as you accomplish this. Doors that were previously closed will start to open. Your house will seem lighter, and your thoughts will feel more clear. This is spiritual law, not superstition. God, the cosmos, and the forces of divine alignment fill the space you create with something better. So, pay attention to this. Take a fresh look around your house. Take note of what you have been ignoring for too long. Above all, have the courage to let go of everything that is preventing you from living the life you were destined to lead. It's possible that the breakthrough you've been waiting for is just beyond what you're prepared to let go of now, rather than in the future. Don't stop here if this message struck a chord with you, if you experienced a change in your spirit, or if you realized that anything in your house could be preventing you from moving forward. Do something. And because this is only the start of your change, be sure to keep up with this channel as you go. Sign up today. Don't delay. You will be able to overcome financial difficulties, spiritual obstacles, and invisible forces that are fighting against you with the aid of this channel's profound and transformative insights. To ensure you don't miss any insights that might lead to your next big discovery, click the notification bell. And please like this video if you thought it was powerful. It indicates your want for more of this knowledge. Tell us what caught your attention the most in the comments section below, or if you have ever had a life-altering event as a result of removing anything from your house. Someone else could be inspired by your tale. Share this video with someone you care about beyond anything else. It's impossible to predict who would be unwittingly imprisoned by things that are against them. Be the one to assist them in escaping. This is a movement toward plenty, clarity, and divine harmony rather than merely content. Your next level is waiting, so keep focused, stay connected, and prepare.